classic gothic tales, kind of. Hey friends! Welcome back to the Train Cafe, or welcome if you're new here. My name is Tamaki, and this is your creative, cozy, safe space. For today, we're doing a bookshelf / desk tour. This was requested and I thought it was a very cute idea. My desk and my bookshelf, they were very untidy for a very long time, so I thought it was very fitting for me to kind of tidy the space up a bit, make it look a bit neater again, and shift things around here and there, and do a bookshelf tour for you guys. So the first part of the video is me kind of tidying up the space, and I'll leave you to past me, who's kind of overwhelmed with the mess of her desk. As you can see, I have a lot of books like stacked on each other, and it's kind of overflowing with a lot of like writing utensils and random things, and my whole desk here is just not clean. I'm just gonna start by kind of clearing this desk first, and everything's probably gonna go on the floor or on my bed for now, and then once the desk is clear, I think I'll just kind of clear this out and rearrange it. I started this recently, or like started it again recently. I'd stopped for like months. I really recommend this for anyone who's trying to tap into their creativity. I don't think I need all of these in here at all times. Okay, so next up is this area. I think I'm just gonna start by taking out the books and going from there. Yeah, I'm not really proud of this situation, but we'll deal with it now. See, I was searching for this forever. Okay, now everything's laying here and on my bed, and I'm feeling slightly overwhelmed. I always think things like this will only take me like 30 minutes, but I already can see that this will take me a little bit longer than I thought, but it's fine. Does this work? I think it does. I feel like this belongs here, so I'm gonna switch it out. Love it. It doesn't really look that different, but it's fine. I want to have it somewhere around my desk, but I also don't want it to fall down. Oh my god, my voice. I also don't want it to fall down, so I'm like, where do I put this? Okay, I set it up like this now. I feel like that's cute with the frog there. So, let me give you kind of an overview to this desk space. This is literally my creative safe space. It's just like I sit here and I can get into such a creative mode, and I love it so much. And I just love staring at this Ghibli wall, so I think this is the most. I mean, okay, the bookshelf is also special, but I love my Ghibli-esque wall. I do have a few other postcards, like I do have Petason and Findus, and I have a few postcards that I got at museums, like at art museums. I just love looking at this wall because it makes me feel so creative. So on the left side of my desk, as you can see, I don't have a ton of space, but I feel like I'm making it work quite well. I do mostly work on my computer or like on my PC, so this is really all the space I need and a bit of space to write, which I totally have. I also have a few writing utensils, like this really cute Aporo, like a Japanese chocolate brand, but it's a notepad and stuff like that. My glasses. I have a very cute tempura sumikko gurashi, a shrimp fry, and a frog that my sister crocheted me. I have my journal and my bullet journal over here. Over on the other side of my desk, okay, my matcha, I have a little tablet with a lot of jewelry. I did want to like lessen the amount of jewelry, but these are really all things that I use on quite a daily basis, so I like to have them where I can see them. I have a froggo. I love him. I actually get cuteness aggression when I look at this frog because it's so cute. But anyways, I also have a big Totoro plushie, and I just love looking at them while I write. Like I feel like they're my writing companions, and I just feel like when you create a space for yourself, you need to let yourself play and let yourself be a child if you want to. And for me, this just makes me really happy. Moving on to this kind of windowsill area, I have this fairy door that I painted and decorated with my best friend, so we both made one, and it was such a lovely experience, and it's just magical. I love it so much. I have a sitting frog next to it. It's really cute. I have a statue of a mermaid that I also painted with my best friend. A painting that I did of Howl's Moving Castle like years ago. A little tablet of random trinkets. I'm not gonna get into it that much. And a ceramic bowl that I painted with some crystals in there. Okay, I don't know, like, I'm really sorry in advance for all these angles in this video. My tripod doesn't go higher than this. I still have this tripod from 10 years ago when I started my first YouTube channel. It's like a very thin one, and I think it was very cheap, but it's still hanging on. This is kind of the setup. Yeah. Is this the best way to put away storage? No. But we do have kind of a storage issue in this apartment, so for now it's gonna do. I just have a bunch of like miscellaneous or crafty things in there, and I don't reach for it that often, and it is at least a cute box, you know, but it's kind of overflowing, which is why I have a few scrapbook things in this little paper bag, and I have a few like mic setup things up there, a few more crafty things in that box. So let's just kind of ignore the fact that that's not that pretty, okay? I don't really know how to do a shelf tour, but deco-wise, I have like random bits and pieces that I've had for ages. I don't know where I got this. I think I got this at Teddy, which is a German, or like a store in Germany that has a lot of like deco pieces, I think. I have this crochet mushroom that my sister made me, which is so cute. Next to it, I have a deck of cards from Castle in the Sky, which is my favorite Ghibli movie. This is also a deco piece that I believe I got at Teddy a few years back. It's a coral, and I love it. It looks really nice. Onto the books, because I guess that's probably why you're here. Anyways, so on the left-hand side, I have just a few books that are nonfiction. I don't read a lot of nonfiction. I do want to get into it more, but I don't own a lot of them anyways. How to Do the Work by Dr. Nicole LePera. It's a self-help book on kind of healing yourself and helping yourself kind of recognizing trauma patterns in your life. I read this at a time where I really needed it, and it had a lot of valuable information. And I felt like, because I've read a lot of self-help books actually, I was really in my lifestyle self-help era for a while, and I don't like a lot of those books, but this one I actually do recommend because I felt like it was very accessible. I have two books about writing scripts. So one's called Creating Character Arcs, which I would totally recommend if you're looking into how to write scripts because it's written in a very, very accessible way. It was the first book that I read about how to write a script or whatever at a time where I didn't know anything about writing and writing scripts. Miyazaki World by Susan Napier, which is a book about Miyazaki and his work and his art, and it was very, very cool. It was like a lot of research had been done and was very interesting. Here I have my one part of my manga collection. I've downsized my manga collection by quite a lot. I do believe I have a lot of manga still somewhere, and I do have a few others in my bookshelf that's in the living room, but these are kind of my favorites as of right now. So I have Yotsubato, which is a very, very cute manga about a young child that kind of appears in a city and a man takes it in as his own. So it's a very cute and very wholesome story. Then Totsukuni no Shoujo, in English it's called The Girl from the Other Side. I rave about this manga quite a lot on my Instagram, or like I have before. The art style is so pretty, and the story, the premise, and everything is so, so interesting. So I truly love this manga. Then I have 2 volumes of Kimetsu no Yaiba, so Demon Slayer, and I really am enjoying it. So the next time I'm in Japan, I definitely need to get the next volumes because I was like really positively surprised by how much I liked it because I started the anime and I didn't really like it that much, but I have been told that I just have to push through the first few episodes and then it will get better, so we'll see if I continue that. Then I have Tomie from Junji Ito. I started it, but I haven't continued it yet. Reason being, there are a lot of like Chinese characters in this book that I can't read yet because I haven't practiced my kanji and my Japanese, so that's kind of my problem, is my TBR pile. I have a few more in that bookshelf, but these are the ones that I'm tackling currently. So A Tree Grows in Brooklyn, Freshwater, an Edgar Allan Poe collection that I've been reading for like 2 years, but I keep stopping. Not because I don't like it, but because there's just a lot of essays and stories in there, and it's kind of hard for me to get through a short story collection like that. Same with this one. This is a short story collection of gothic horror stories, and I don't really gravitate towards it, but I do like it. I don't know if that makes sense. I have a bunch of other physical books that I'm hopefully going to read this year. I'm also thinking of doing a series of reels on my Bookstagram where I actually tackle these physical TBR books because they're starting to overwhelm me. These are not all of them. Let me know maybe if you're that kind of person who has like very few physical TBR books, or if you have 100+ TBR books, because I'm nosy and I just wanna know. Let's move on to the middle shelf. So I have this lantern, paper lantern that I bought shortly before I moved to Germany from Japan. And I did like a touristy day with my mom. It wasn't really something that we'd normally do, but because I was moving away, we just did a whole day of touristy attractions, and it was so fun. And I got this in Asakusa in Tokyo. Over here, I have the bigger books. The Art of Castle in the Sky, again, my favorite Ghibli movie. I have a book about magic for everyday life. I have a book about tea, which I haven't really read or finished reading, but it's a book about tea and it also has recipes in it. The Artist Way, which I've talked about quite a lot. Over here, I have my Nintendo Switch, which, funny story, when I did my second YouTube channel, yeah, this is my third try, when I did my second YouTube channel, which only lasted for about a month, I think, so I think I'm already lasting longer at this point, I actually made a video where I decorated my Switch with this cherry paper, and I love it a lot. Back here, like, I have, yeah, it's not the most elegant way, but I have just a paper bag with a lot of electronics and things in there because somewhere I just need the storage, guys, okay? Over here, kind of behind the lantern, kind of not, I have like my really beautiful bound books. So I have Wuthering Heights, Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen, The Secret History, one of my favorite books. I have Heartstopper, the first and second graphic novel. I also have a Totoro, which I made myself. A few acorns that I collected because, you know, Totoro, the little ones, they collect acorns. I also have a bunch of trinkets over here, like a stone that my best friend gave me, and collected a spoon, like a vintage spoon that I got somewhere that kind of looks like a shell. And I like it. The last shelf, at least the one that I'm showing you, I do have 2 more shelves under that, but those shelves, trust me, you don't want to see them. They're full of like university papers and stuff like that, and I just kind of a bit random, but I have a few of my favorite books here. I have Carmilla, The Picture of Dorian Gray, We Have Always Lived in the Castle by Shirley Jackson, and Bram Stoker's Dracula. So I kind of grouped them together as the gothic, classic gothic tales. And I also have Letters to a Young Poet by Rainer Maria Rilke here. Then over here, I have Elena Ferrante, The Story of a New Name. So the second book, I do still have to get the first book because I read the first book on my Libby app and I desperately want to own it. But I am going to a book swap this Sunday, so wish me luck. What if I find my brilliant friend? That would be so cool. But this is the highlight. And I have my friend to thank for this. Anyways, I also have Lonely Castle in a Mirror, another top favorite book of mine. The Once and Future Witches by Alex E. Harrow, which is also such a lovely book. I feel like it's kind of underrated. I haven't seen too many people talk about it. It's about 3 sisters that are witches and that are also like being hunted. So it was such a magical and empowering read. So I really love that, and I would love to read that at some point. I also have Before the Coffee Gets Cold by Toshikazu Kawaguchi, and The Seas by Samantha Hunt, also kind of a new favorite of mine. So as you can see, this is kind of the random shelf. And in the middle, we have an array of different things. So I do have a few office supplies like pens, or also, how do you call these? You use them for crocheting. How do you call these? The needles for crocheting, and my bookmarks. So a lot of random kind of things in here that I need at my desk. I have a few tarot decks here actually. I would love to get more at some point and get into it more. That's basically my bookshelf. I just randomly thought that maybe I'd share a few tips on how to create a creative safe space for yourself. A good thing about even a little corner in a room that you have all to yourself is that it's a space where you can just let yourself create more freely. My biggest tip is to kind of just let yourself play and kind of let yourself be a child again, because I feel like as we grow older, sometimes we refrain ourselves from just letting ourselves be like we are. I just let myself decorate the space feeling like a child again, and things that remind me of my childhood, and it makes me personally really, really happy, and it makes the space really safe for me. So I feel like that's my biggest tip, to kind of listen to your inner child and let yourself play. And I feel like another tip is to really don't think about what's going to be aesthetic, because I personally don't feel like I'm a very good decorator when I compare myself to others, but I really didn't think about that. I just thought about what would make me happy. And now that I look at it, I'm like, this has a certain aesthetic and it has a certain beauty, so it's perfect. I have accumulated all of these things over years and years. I feel like that also makes a space so special because it's personal to you. So I wouldn't put the pressure on myself to have everything in one go. Also money-wise, it wouldn't have been possible for me. I do have another bookshelf in my living room, but I really haven't figured out how to decorate it yet, so that might be a project and a video for another day. But I really hope that you enjoyed this creative safe space tour. Other than that, I hope you have a lovely day, a lovely rest of your weekend, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!